What is up, everybody? Chris and Bear from Your
Yo.
Games here again. If you're not familiar with what we're doing, we are playing with the Random Trap Generator 2. Description, links, all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. In this one, what we're going to do is we've both picked two triggers and two effects for each other, and it's kind of like a game show. You get presented with those triggers and effects. We've never heard them before, that combination, and we have to come up with something on the fly that makes sense. You can even, if you're the person giving the triggers and effects, you can even stipulate things like it has to be in this type of environment or that type of environment, like a forest or a dungeon, if you want that, if you want. So,
Sure.
or let the person just see wherever they go with it. So, Bear, you go ahead. What do you have for me?
So I guess you should go first because I don't know exactly the format. I have no.
Oh, okay, okay. So,
You're presenting me
all right.
two at the same time, or
Yeah, exactly. So what I'll say is, uh, I've got a mechanical trap for you. The trigger is weight sensitive surface, and the effect is spikes.
okay.
So if we go to weight
Um,
sensitive surface, there are a few different options, but I wanted to see what you were going to say. So this is less of a collaborative and more of a here's the two parts, and then you put it together.
got it. Okay. Well, in that case, personally, the thing that comes to mind very quickly is like a some sort of idol or statue that is sitting on top of very Indiana Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's just what instantly comes to my mind. But let's see. Uh, what can
Inspiration,
you?
there's four different options here,
True.
for more details. There was the tipping floor, a weighted platform, a balanced scale, or a settling expanse.
Kind of like the balance scale is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
What does it say about that more?
A
Trying to bring
surface
it up.
keyed to specific weight, so adding too much or removing an expected load, such as lifting a treasure, sets it off. So similar to what you were
Ooh,
talking
okay.
about, and this could be
Yep.
like any amount. But here's the thing: it's balanced. So there's something like if you remove this, maybe a part of the room starts to fall away. So it's like a balanced thing in low ropes. So I used to run ropes courses, and in the low ropes we had a thing called the was it the olive board or the whale watch? It's called the whale watch. And what it was a large deck, and they come in different sizes and stuff, where they were supported in the center by a square beam. So on its own it would stay perfectly balanced, but as soon as you got people onto it, if someone stepped to the right, it would all go right. If someone stepped to the left, it would all go
Got
left.
it.
So you try to get as many people on it as you could while keeping it balanced. So you'd actually use the forces of leverage. So like I put a big person on there and a small person, and I had the small person move at twice the distance as the big person away from the center to make room for
Yep.
more people to get on, because then it was still balanced. So you could think of it like that kind of a thing. Like it's a
Okay.
balanced skill. It has to be balanced, and it could be any, size if you want. It could be as big as the room, but it has to be balanced.
I think I'm gonna go with weighted platform though. And
Okay.
I looking at these, I like the thought of a bridge of some sort. Either just could be made out of any type of bridge, it could be a rope bridge or whatever. But essentially once too much weight is put onto it, the spikes come out. So it's
Mm-hmm.
you could probably pass one person across it each time. That would be totally fine.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe two, but the moment the whole party tries to go across this at the same time, spikes come out of the walls.
It come out of the walls, or would it be like it breaks and they fall into the
Well, that
spikes?
could work too.
Or
Yeah.
so
That
you're thinking rope
I
bridge then?
Yeah, yeah,
Rope
like a
bridge.
rope bridge.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Yep.
And it's rigged to where too much weight, and maybe there's something uh indicating that, some sort of hint
Yep.
to that, would snap it, and then you'd fall into the spikes. Okay, cool. Here we
Yep.
go. So weighted platform, rope bridge, spikes below. Nice. All right.
Right.
Um,
I'm ready for you ready for yours?
yeah, go ahead.
All right. Interact with bait and teleport.
Okay. Interact with bait. All right.
Yep.
So the let's see, interact with bait is right here. What options do we have here? Because bait could be a lot of different things.
It could. Definitely could.
Um, treasure is one of the best ones, obviously.
It really
So
works.
like,
I
yeah,
have used treasure many a times to be like,
yeah.
"Yeah, there's treasure over there." It's funny how often too they're like, "Oh man, this means there's probably something bad that's gonna happen if I go over there," but it's treasure.
Hmm. So we do have abandoned treasure, fresh corpse, curious apparatus, or misplaced object. Um, Obviously treasure is going to be one of the biggest, like, ooh, shiny, and they're going to go for that. So I would do something where the it's like a gem, like there's no denying, like, you're going to run over there and be like, ooh, pick it up. But I think that the target who picks it up is then instantly teleported somewhere else. But where are they teleported exactly? And in this case, teleportation, let's see, into danger, scattered apart. So it wouldn't be scattered apart because I'm a target just one person. Um, and maybe it's like um, almost mm, maybe like you like gems, here's all the gems, kind of a thing where you get
True.
teleported into an area where it's almost like dangerous for you to be because of the amount of gems that are here. um
That's kinda interesting too, because they could be teleported. What if it teleports you into, like, an area where there is the rest of the treasure, right? This is like a way to
mm-hmm,
teleport deeper into the dungeon. Like, your
mm-hmm.
friends are gonna find you eventually. Uh,
Yeah, deeper in the
it
dungeon.
puts
Okay.
you basically, like, where everyone would want to
Yeah.
have been, but you're all by yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
So it's a very small portion of the treasure, and maybe the entire treasure is. Oh, how cool would it be if the treasure is magically enchanted to where it'll stay together, and if it's somehow separated, then picking up one object will like teleport you and that thing back to the treasure, but it's sort of like the the dragon that lives here or whatever has done that to the treasure, so that if any
yeah, to
of
make
it
sure no one
goes
can steal it.
wandering off, it'll always end up, if it's picked up by a sentient being or whatever, it'll come back. But then it begs the question, how did it end up there to begin with?
True.
Or does the dragon you know place these things around the, just to trick people into picking them up, and it brings them there.
I mean,
But
it could teleport it to the dragon horde and
yeah,
AKA the dragon.
into danger.
Like,
Yeah, yeah,
yep,
yeah,
exactly. So
yeah.
it could be one of those things where it's like, "Yes, of course you want a piece of my treasure. By the way, my treasure is going to teleport you to me,
Yeah,
and I'm going to now, scold you for trying to steal my treasure."
yeah.
Uh,
So bait, teleport. So pick up gem, and then uh, teleport to dragon horde. Yep. I think that works. Works great. Um, Yours, I had an interesting combination. This is both are
sure.
magical, and they are offering and bewitchment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. So let's look at offering. So essentially, let's figure out what we're offering, and then bewitchment. Ooh, that one's also very interesting.
Yes. So
Um,
any offering, wrong offering, withheld offering, or taken offering.
I definitely like taken offering. Because I feel like that is pretty like you can come into a place and have it all set up very elaborate, very
Yeah.
like everything's in its spot. You can tell that a ritual had taken place. Maybe there's like essence burning or like incense burning and things
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
And then essentially you see the bag of gold coins, or you see
Hmm.
once again, most likely some form of treasure or item that the players are like, that's mine now because
Hmm.
clearly you're not around to make sure I don't take it.
Hmm.
Uh, and then you get bewitched. All right, let's go to bewitchment.
So the offering is taken offering.
Yes, and then we will head to bewitchment.
Under
I think I passed.
magical effects. Yeah, magical effects, bewitchment. Okay.
Found it. Alrighty. No criticals, minimal damage, slow to act,
It's basically bad luck.
unhappy healing.
Yeah.
It is, yeah. Unhappy healing's really interesting. It's just
Oh,
like, yeah, by the way, no matter what you get healed, it is just the lowest
minimum.
amount possible.
Yeah. You drink a
Um,
potion, you cast a spell, all that stuff. You take the minimum. So yeah,
I like,
bewitchment.
yeah, Bewitchment's crazy.
Yeah, it's a bit more like rules based, but it's like your numbers are kind of cursed for a little bit.
Yep, I like no criticals. I think I'm gonna do no
Okay.
criticals because that to me, out of everything, like lowering someone's damage is pretty detrimental, especially if combat does happen because of this or things. Slow to act is probably like the least detrimental because going last in the initiative order is sometimes beneficial.
Hmm.
Um, Unhappy healing is also kind of sucks, but it's like not too bad. But no criticals is like, yeah, good luck.
Hmm.
You can't. There's no critically succeeding on any of this stuff for the next
Hmm.
1d4 days or whatever it is.
Yeah, you can remove curse. You can cast
That's true
remove
until a
curse.
from first. Yeah,
At the end of each day, a bewitched creature can make a charisma saving throw. If it succeeds, the effect ends
there
for
you
that
go.
creature. Remove curse or more powerful magic can also end the bewitchment. So, all right,
Yeah,
cool.
I would depend on the party. I'd probably do like either like 1d4 hours, 1d4 days, or make it permanent like this
Hmm.
is until they take it off with a remove
Hmm.
curse slash.
Yeah.
So it just depends on your party and
Yeah,
how strong they
you
are.
can modify it. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one works. Let's see
All right.
the other thing. Oh, it's my turn now. Go ahead.
It is your
You do it for
turn.
me.
Yeah. And this one's I feel like a little straightforward, but it's look into and blindness.
Okay. Look into
Yeah.
and
There's
blindness.
a there's a bunch of ways you could go with this, but
Look into is a magical, or is that
I believe look
ambiguous?
into is mechanical. Yeah,
Is
right?
it
Is it
mechanical?
let's see, is it magical? Oh, it is. It is magical.
Look into
Look
is
into is
magical. Okay.
magical. And then
So,
blindness is ambiguous. Yes. Blindness is
okay.
ambiguous.
So, looking into an object opening or material triggers the trap. Magic mirror might trap the viewer or swap them for an evil twin.
Hmm.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty yeah.
Um, Pool of water might charm the one who gazes in, and meeting the jeweled eyes of a statue or portrait could leave a creature possessed. I like the idea of the statue or portrait. Even glimpsing the reflection of a rune in a mirror may be enough. So we've got the enchanted mirror, reflecting pool, watching eyes, or peering aperture. So the watching eyes is really cool.
Yeah,
Um,
honestly, looking into I felt like it was just a fun one because there's so many
mm-hmm,
different ways you can handle that. Yeah.
mm-hmm,
Like
mm-hmm,
as it cool, you find this crazy mirror and you stare into it and then it
mm-hmm,
causes effect. Or there's these cool yeah, the gemmed eyes of
mm-hmm,
a statue that it clearly are watching you.
mm-hmm. I'm going to go with the gemmed eyes. It makes
Nice.
for an interesting set piece, that may be like part of a corridor or an area. This also could be something that is outside somewhere or in ruins, like
True?
exterior ruins. It
Yeah.
could also be something that a shopkeep has in their back room, and like it's all covered up, and you're back there for some reason, and you pull the sheet away and you find this statue, and by looking into the ruby eyes of the statue you're suddenly blinded by it. So I would go with statue in this. So look into statue eyes, and
Nice.
then blindness. And I like blindness because it is so like control, like, okay, eyes, what happens to you're
Yes.
magically blinded. So let's go to that, and it'll be under ambiguous effects, blindness. And the suggestions are things like a light flare or conjure darkness. Ooh, So
Oh, that is kind of neat.
blindness isn't necessarily um, a restricted to just you. Then if it was a
Okay.
conjured darkness that also blotted out like the light for dark vision creatures and stuff like that, that
Yeah.
could be very cool.
You basically have to have true sight or a way to dispel magic. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I like that. um I'm gonna go with that one. Actually, I'm gonna go
Yeah.
with, it's actually, there's a conjured darkness. um
That emanates
Conjured,
basically from you because you stared at it,
from the
or is it
statue.
emanating from the
From the
statue? Yep.
statue,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. I'm gonna say if you look into the eyes of, let's say it's black dragon statue, and you look
Oh
into
yeah.
its eyes, and
Got those
by
emerald eyes,
doing
black dragon.
so, just there's a magical darkness, and maybe everybody only gets 5 feet of vision or something like
Yeah,
that.
you can see the
And
person right next to you.
yeah, like
That's it.
everything,
Anything
it's
out there
almost
is
like a cloud or something has surrounded you. But it
yeah,
removes, like, if you were holding a torch, you can barely see the torch in the light. It's like, that dark. And then if you have dark vision, again, barely see. And so that affects everybody in the party now.
yeah.
So
No.
to my mind, that makes a lot of sense. And it could even be not even that it's a statue, like a three-dimensional statue, but it could be like a mural in the wall kind of a thing. And the relief of the black dragon and its emerald eyes, or like maybe it's got like opal eyes or something like that,
Sure.
something more exotic. And then
Yeah.
looking into them suddenly, foof, and then some creature that can see through that kind of conjured darkness, that then begins to attack the players, and it
Oh
turns out to
yeah.
be like a shadow or a wraith or something like that. But they can't see it, and it's got advantage on them and all that kind of stuff. So that can be
Yeah, it
very
just makes it
terrifying.
so much harder for you to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, if it is like a statue, I like the thought too, you could just remove it by covering the statue's face.
Yes.
Because it's like,
Yeah.
once you've seen it, it essentially casts this,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe you can see, like, the glow super far off. Like,
Mm-hmm.
the only thing in the darkness you can see are those 2 opal eyes
Mm-hmm.
that are, like, way out there,
Mm-hmm.
but you're getting attacked by some sort of wraith or shade or whatever it might be, and so it's hard to get over to it to try to interact or whatever you're going to try to do to get rid of it. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Be covered up, or you cast some sort of dispel magic or whatever,
Yeah, you
and
remove its eyes, maybe even just get in there, rogue gets in there, surprise them out.
yeah, pry
Um,
out the eyes and uh, put them into something, and
yeah, put
then
them into something. Yeah, yeah,
it'll stop. Yeah, I dig.
yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Pretty neat.
So statue's eyes, conjured darkness. I love it. All right, there you go.
Yeah, this
Um,
is fun.
yeah,
I
this is
like
a lot of
it's
fun.
silly, like, picking the 2 and then being like, "Alright, cool." Especially for this, I was like, "I think it's gonna be like how you did it, which
Hmm.
is, I'm gonna pick 2 and
Hmm.
then you're gonna try to figure out them." And
Hmm.
it's like, especially for the first one, I was like, "Okay, let's do something, like, out of the box,"
Hmm.
right? Like,
Hmm.
interact with bait, teleport. What is
Hmm.
that? What are we doing here? Like, what are
Hmm.
we gonna how are we gonna make this work? And then what you came up with was great. I really, really like that.
Hmm.
And then the other one, I was like, okay, this one's pretty straightforward, right? It's look into and you become blind.
Hmm.
Personally, I thought when I first was thinking about this, it was more like a slot or like something that you would have to put your eyes up to, right? And then it would
Look
just
into.
straight blind you.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but I much prefer what we ended up on.
Yeah.
And
Well, it's also
that's the thing about these.
situational. Yeah, you
Yeah.
don't really know where it might go, especially like while you're designing your dungeon and you start to roll on these tables, it sort of starts to build the set pieces for you, which is
Well,
super cool.
yeah, and it really, but it also just goes to show that it's like, what I had in mind for something so simple came into something much
Hmm.
cooler and epic,
Hmm.
and it's just because you had a different train of thought than I did. Not that
Hmm.
there's anything wrong with the little slot that blinds you when you put it
Hmm.
up there,
Yeah.
but it's like, yeah, it's totally a different trap, and that's
Hmm.
so cool. I love it.
Let's finish off with one more, and in this one,
Oh,
I'll pick a trigger and you pick an effect.
okay.
So I'm gonna say touch object, and that's an ambiguous um, trigger. But
Mhm.
let me see if I can get a little bit of inspiration from
Okay.
that. So magical
Well, I have
triggers,
2 that I wanna choose
touch
now,
object.
but we'll
So
see
so
see
I'll
what
I'll
type of object.
describe, yeah, I'll describe
Exactly.
what I'm thinking, and then you finish it off with the effect. So touching a particular object triggers the trap. The trap may have parameters for who or what can touch the object safely, as broad or specific as needed, including species, alignment, class, spellcasting ability, or religious affiliation. Wearing gloves or using a tool to touch the object might bypass the trigger rather than disable it. So I'm going to say that the object could be some sort of important item or
Okay.
MacGuffin or
I like it.
whatever. And maybe this is a cursed object. So that's one of the options in here. So,
Okay. We're getting to close to the one I was gonna choose, so
okay,
now
cool. So cursed object, you need this, right? You need this
yep.
to be, or at least to remove this from the equation for the story to continue in the right direction. And the big bad has some cursed object that is going to power their doomsday device or whatever, and you're trying to remove it. So again, there might be like special gloves you need, and this is harkening back to one of my first introductions to D&D, where my uncle was telling me about the zero energy device that somebody at some point created. I'm not sure if it was part of one of his adventures or whatnot, but they needed to go on a quest to find the gloves that you could safely pick up the zero energy device
Yeah,
with.
there you go.
Because if you touched it, it would instantaneously freeze your hands up to your elbows, and you'd lose your hands.
You'd lose your arms.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it was like super sketch. And it was also like they couldn't necessarily like levitate the device or anything like that. So they were trying to find like what kind of device can we use to pick up this zero energy device. So it was
Hmm,
some pair of gloves. So this is, I think that there might be like a multi-stage quest here, to where this would be the item that you could obtain to then pick up this cursed object and not incur the negative effects of it. So what
okay.
would be the effect then, if you did touch the object without the gloves, or without the ability to dispel the magic?
So I'll just go through my thought process when I was looking through these. First, it was exhaustion, right? So you touch this, you instantly become weakened and
Mm-hmm.
tired.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god,
Then
it's
I
so
started looking
good.
more, and I saw aging, and I was like, oh, aging's also really interesting.
Oh my
You become
goodness.
either young or enfeebled, depend on which way you go. And then the last one I was thinking about was amnesia, which is the silly one because you
Yeah.
pick it up and you no longer know why you need this or
Yes.
who anyone else around you is.
Yes.
And anyone who touches it, like, because if the whole party accidentally touched this thing, all of a sudden no one knows each other and no one knows why they're here. But I think I'm gonna go with exhaustion.
I
I just
like,
feel like
yeah, all those are good options, but like exhaustion is one of those ones where you could die.
you
You
could
could just straight
die.
up die.
Yeah. Yep. You could just straight
The
die.
aging too, I guess, if it was progressive
True.
like that, yeah.
True.
But I love the idea of every minute you have this without the gloves or special item to hold it, you are rolling for exhaustion. That's kind
I
of
like
cool.
that too.
That's
Yep.
really cool.
'Cause
Okay.
to me, ultimately, exhaustion is it's especially when you were talking about this as a cursed object,
Yeah.
potentially the MacGuffin or the big bads thing, where it's like, yeah, touch it all you want. It's going to ultimately kill you.
Hmm.
Um, it's also going to make everything like trying to deal with you easier. Like exhaustion really messes with you the longer you hold exhaustion. So
Okay. So we're gonna do as a cursed object.
also I feel
And
like people don't use exhaustion enough, but I get
no,
it.
they don't.
Exhaustion's a lot.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Roll for exhaustion. Yep. Okay, that's pretty cool. We're definitely putting
Yeah,
that into something in this
I like that a
book.
lot.
I like the idea also maybe of, in one of the dungeon delves, that is an an object that needs to be recovered to get further into the dungeon.
Yep.
So
Yep. I
like
like the thought that,
who's
yeah,
who's
you
gonna
maybe just the thing
suffer.
you have to get and get out. Like, the dungeon isn't super long or things like that, but, like,
Mhm,
once you pick up the object,
mhm.
everyone has to start passing it around, has to
Oh,
start
they all gotta share the
like
exhaustion
exactly,
together.
they all have to share the exhaustion because if one person shares
Wow.
it for too long, they'll die. So it's
Wow.
like,
It could
you
get progressively harder the longer you hold it too. So it could start out where the first time you do a con save for it, you have a DC of 12, but then the next time it's 14 and then 16 and
yep,
then 18 or whatever. So it could
I
get
like that.
progressively more. I love that. Okay, very cool. That's got to go in one of the dungeon delves. Uh, Either as the thing that you need to recover and bring out of the dungeon, or
Yeah, or,
as
like, I need to bring this into the next 3 rooms or whatever and put it on the pedestal,
yeah,
to
yeah.
unlock the next part.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it
somehow
goes either way.
a it's you find a thing in the wall and you're like, that looks suspiciously like that thing we found earlier on that no one wanted to touch because we cast
Yeah, that
detect magic on it and it was obviously necrotic, magic. It was
or, yeah,
all,
or, like, Jim picked it up and he felt real bad.
yeah,
Like, he did not feel good after picking that up. He doesn't look
yeah,
so well, he looks a little more sluggish,
yeah.
but we
The
now we need to pick
aging
it up.
The aging one, easily adaptable to the aging one too, like you were saying.
Yeah, yeah.
That is one where um, you, how many years or
I
decades,
know, I
that's
know.
scary because
Yeah,
it may be something where like you can have a con save, but every minute you hold this thing, you may lose a decade.
yep.
Uh,
You could turn this one into a complex one and have it be both, kinda, where
yeah,
you're getting exhausted and aging, which explains the exhaustion,
yeah,
but,
exactly. And
um,
it could be one roll, it could be two. So it's like
yeah.
you succeed on the exhaustion, but you've aged by 10 years.
Oh my
Uh,
god. Oh,
yeah,
so crazy.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah,
that was funny because I was going through those and I'm like, "Oh, man, these just they line up so well with what you just said of basically touching a cursed object." So,
yeah. I dig. Well, very
nice.
cool. Well,
Oh,
that's it.
alright.
Let's leave it there. If you are curious what it is that we're doing, we have revised the random trap generator from the Treacherous Traps book, which is over here somewhere. So the Treacherous Traps book that we published back in 2019, we are making Treacherous Traps 2 right now. So we've made Random Trap Generator 2, which you can go and get. Check the links in the description below. Go to the Kickstarter campaign. It is not live. It is currently in the pre-launch phase.
Yep,
So follow the campaign so that you can be notified when it goes live. Share a link with your friends. And if you would like to put your own or submit your own traps to possibly go in the book, then check it out. Go to this
yep,
table, roll on it, or pick what you want. Go to that section of this PDF and look at what that trigger and effect do, and then come up with your own explanation for how they interact together. And it may very well end up in the book. So
yep.
hope it does. All right. Well, until next time, everybody, happy gaming.
Take care, you guys.